Ever have anybody act a certain way when you meet them for the first time? And then the next time, it's like they don't even know you? Yeah, I've had that happen several times in my life, where you meet somebody and you become like best of friends. Like you're wondering what you've done in your life and how you've lived your life without this person there. And then the next thing you know, you run into them and you're like looking forward to having this amazing conversation and they act like they hardly know you. So what is all that about? Well, first off, most of us feel like it has to do with us. Like we've done something wrong, we said something wrong, maybe it was about us. And all the time we kind of revolve our lives around ourselves. And it's not like a narcissistic reason for thinking that everything revolves around us. It's more like we want people to like us, okay? We're people and we care what other people think about us. And so when on one side you have somebody that completely digs you and thinks you're awesome, and then in the next moment has no idea who you are, it can be kind of scary, shocking, and sad. So why does that happen in day-to-day life? Well, the first thing is we often don't realize that when we see somebody, we're seeing them on one side of who they are, meaning that we're seeing them for a glimpse in a day, for a certain amount of time. We don't know what happened before we saw them, and we don't know what happened after. We have no idea what went down between the last time we saw them and now, okay? So we have to understand that. Some people could have had an amazing time between now and then, and other people could have had a very depressed, sad state of affairs since the last time you saw them. Now also, don't forget that just like normal humans, people do things like take drugs, drink alcohol, smoke weed, take pharmaceutical medication, as well as the fact that people do suffer from depression and anxiety, okay? So remember that when you see somebody for a glimpse and you have an amazing conversation, you have no idea if they are on cloud nine, you have no idea if they're under the influences of drugs and alcohol, or if perhaps they actually took their pharmaceutical medication for anxiety or depression, or they missed their medication that day. Okay, remember that. Because oftentimes we think that their attitude, being that it's so different, has something to do with us and that we're the problem. I advise you in these situations to realize that we're only seeing that one side. My second advisement is to understand that you might get a completely different person on the third time you see them. But last but not least is to realize that as long as you're focused and anchored and you understand where you're coming from, you can take a step back and realize that their attitude, being that it's completely different than last time, has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with you. Remember this, because a lot of times it can take us off target. It can make us feel a little insecure. It can make us feel kind of sad. So the next time this happens to you, realize in your heart of hearts that this person might be going through a stressful day, a stressful lifetime. They might have lost a family member or a friend, or better yet, they could be going through the ups and downs of trying to figure out what the issue is as far as diagnosis and trying to figure out the right pill for them to take to overcome their depression. Now, they could be dealing with alcoholism or drug addiction. Understanding and being compassionate is rule one when interacting with other people. But the next rule is being compassionate and understanding that you're a good person, and just because somebody acts that way doesn't mean it has anything to do with you. Remember this, and don't forget to live your true life today.